Record. Namaste, Safi.
Hola, hola.
Hola,
We would be the opposite. I would say hola, and you'd be like namaste. How
Let's
are
exchange the
you?
greetings. You know, you're missing labas. It's the
Oh,
Lithuanian
yeah.
It's Lithuanian hello, labas.
Labas. Oh, that's quite interesting. This I never asked you. Come on, I should know your,
You
language,
should. I think you knew
right?
a little bit, but you forgot. It's easy. It's you
What?
forget.
Because you've not been like talking to me too much. See, now with the podcast, at least we have this reason
To
or
catch up
excuse.
and learn a bit more about each other. After knowing each other for like probably 10 years, we
Exactly,
only now
exactly.
getting to know more about each other.
What's
So
up with you? How are you? How has the week been?
ooh, I mean, you know what? I'm finding it quite surprising because I'm rediscovering really much better sleep these past nights. But also because I'm having much better sleep in the night, I'm finding it very difficult to wake up and start with my morning routine. Kind of, I'm feeling very sleepy in the mornings. And I'm thinking, I wake up super like, feeling like, oh, I rested so well. But in the morning, I just don't find it so easy to wake up. And I'm thinking, is it like because I got out of the habit, like, okay, now I'm sleeping 8 hours and it's hard to cut it? Or
Yeah.
maybe I'm lacking sleep from previous and my body is kind of, reusing the time for sleep and doesn't want to, oh, let's wake up at 6 and, do some meditation or whatever. I don't know, but I'm like testing 3 more days and then I'm going to be more worried, I think.
Yes, but it's always like that, I say. I mean, even for me, last week when I was not in Mumbai, I know
Mhm.
I wasn't sleeping well. And once I came back, I'm like, dude, I need at least 9 hours sleep, even 8 hours is not enough. So
Yeah.
that's how I think the body just kind of needs that rest. So we shouldn't be too harsh with
Maybe
ourselves.
that's the reason. Yeah, because it's kind of a light holiday here, and like I feel like my body is asking for more rest than I expected because I was like, hey, holiday time, let's get active, like let's do all the things that I wanted to do. And now it's a bit like, like, more passive and stuff. And I was just, okay, maybe it's just a few nights that you want to refresh and then, get ready for the adventures or stuff like that.
How's your day going? Like, how is work and everything for you now?
Slowly it's been moving. I mean, now as I said, I'm taking a bit of a holiday, so trying to, reorganize my thoughts, my, like my routine, a little bit get into this kind of rest, relax, refresh framework and
Yeah.
not overthink about anything. So quite needed time because, summer passes so fast. I mean, I'm just shocked to understand that right now is already the end of July and I
Yes.
felt like whole year like passed, like I blinked and it passed. And I think because we were like with all the restrictions, I don't know, it feels like life just passing so much faster. Do you have
I
this?
think we're getting older, Aiste. I feel every year it's
No.
what's happening. We haven't got time to go out and hang out with our friends and just have a regular life that we all been doing for the you know last decade, I would
Do you
say.
also feel like the time flies so fast for you recently?
I feel the same, and I'm just like, were we just not in like a weekend the other day? And now I'm like, okay, 2 days, and then the weekend is here. What's happening, and how much? What happens also right now? I realize like we shouldn't be very harsh on ourselves, but how much have I achieved this week? Like, how much did I do? How
Mm.
productive I was, but productive in not a toxic way, but actually the amount of work I have in hand, but I had a schedule, right? How much I had to finish. And that becomes very, like, sometimes I think I get very, like, carried away. I'm like, shit, I
Mm.
need to finish this. What's happening?
Yeah.
So, little stress here or there.
Yeah, but I think you kind of use, you always like really in the circle and busy. And I think this, I mean, I'm sure you like kind of managed to get well in the morning, like to calm down and find your peace and then go for the day, like hunt for the day.
Yes.
But, and I think that kind of helps you probably
It helps me.
keep the
Yes.
balance.
I think I'm a hustler by heart. I just hustle. I like that little time in the morning and just get ready. It's like ready to attack the day. Like a lion ready to attack.
My
you know.
God, ready to attack the day. I like the saying. And by the way, maybe,
Yes.
I mean, this week, maybe it's just me. But you know what? I felt I don't know why, but I felt like probably I'm one of these rare people left in the world who just now is starting to watch Star Wars for the first time ever.
Really?
I mean, can you imagine? I mean, I don't know. Have you watched Star Wars?
I haven't. That's what I'm saying. This is the kind of movies I watch and now see. But you know, lockdown has made me watch so many things that I never ever thought I would watch.
Oh my
So-
God, but I'm so happy that you haven't watched, because I feel like this lonely person in the world, or at least at this side of the world, who have no idea what was Chewbacca and who was Luke Skywalker and who was his father and all this drama. And now I
Yes.
started watching and I felt like, oh my God, I'm getting into this very exciting world. But I was sitting for tons of years not watching it for who knows what reason. I don't know. I didn't even have a good reason. And I love movies and, I love fantasy and science fiction, but I have no idea why I've never picked it up. And now I'm watching it. I'm like, wow, I'm like quite enjoying, but I'm happy to hear that you haven't watched it yet as well.
I haven't watched, and Aiste, you'll be like laughing right now if I tell you. Last lockdown, I remember a few of my friends who had never watched Friends, hadn't watched like Game of Thrones. Oh, how cute is that?
It's my least favorite cup. Olive.
Oh my God, that's very cute. Okay, chose that. I just have like a glass.
A simple glass. Okay, so you haven't watched any of the good movies. What is wrong with you, Sappy?
No, I've been watching a lot of stuff, but you know, I said lately, I would say for the last 2 months, I just haven't had the time. Like in the night, again, what happens to me is that if you're again living by yourself, you know, I like to sleep with a very different sort of a headspace, you know, and if I'm watching a certain movie, I feel it just affects me the next morning when I wake up. The mind set that I wake up in, you know, just the whole energy and the way my mood is. So I feel that I like to watch something more light rather than watching a horror movie or what you call like anything to do with killing and like, you know, guns and
shooting
just
and
those
stuff.
I don't know. I felt since lockdown, I've just kind of stayed away from such movies. Unless it's a Sunday, then I have the whole day to kind of just watch, you know, any sort of things. Yeah, but otherwise, I like more like chick flick kind of a thing for the evening.
The romantic savvy. No, it makes sense. And, you know, like, I mean, I always loved fantasy movies and books and stuff like that. But I kind of, especially when, you know, like you're busy and you have like good weather outside and stuff like that, I sometimes feel like guilty to say to myself, like, hey, I'm just going to spend now 2 hours watching a movie when there's so many more things to be done. So I think I try to choose the movies, you know, for rainy days when it's like really shitty outside and I don't feel like my guilt is eating me for not doing something else.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I just wanted to make this revelation that I started watching Star Wars, and it's quite nice. It's quite funny and cute robots and like a lot of other cute details, which I was not expecting. I thought it's more like bang, bang, bang in the galaxies, you know, like occupying, colonizing some other planets, a bit more like, you know, very action kind of shooting type of movie. And actually it has like quite a few softer sides and nice characters. And I like it. I'm starting to understand where the hype is coming from. So for one of your Sundays, in case you'll be super bored, just try to watch the first. It's very old though. The first one we watched was like from 1977. Like it was
God. That's like
it's really old. I don't know how we didn't pick it. It was before I was even born.
Oh God, 1977. Oh my God, I can't believe this. How did I miss it? I feel, you know, another interesting thing about me which you don't know. I'm gonna reveal that right now. If I watch a movie with you and you take me after a month, you ask me, I wouldn't even remember. Like I will remember bits and pieces. I have that problem with films, like with movies. It's like watching a new movie again, but then I'll be like, I'll see a scene, I'm like, oh yeah, now this is gonna happen, you know, but I actually forget. I don't know why.
But you mean about any movies or because okay.
Yeah.
I think the movies that I repeat or like the movies which were like more in the series, so I had more time to feel the character and get related. I think these ones I can remember much better, but the rom movies, you know, which you watch kind of, you know, like you eat the sandwich, it's gone, you know, and some movies are like, you know, like some really good cheesecake. So you eat it and you remember where you ate it, and like you even remember the taste a little bit. And I feel like there are movies like really good movies get stuck with me like that. Really like movies just flow, you know, like, so maybe for you, like many movies are like
No, it's not. I mean, like, imagine if I see that, it's like the producers and directors and the actors are gonna come and like shoot me. Did you just say we won an Oscar? How can you not see a film? You know. But I mean, with that. But I've been trying to understand what's the whole. I really don't know. Like even series for that matter. You know, I'll be watching and halfway through, oh shit, hold on, I think I've already watched this.
So what was the last TV series that you watched?
You know, the last, oh my God, The Bold Type. I'm waiting for the next one. The Bold Type is one. And then, what's the last one I watched? One more, like it's one of these kind only. Actually, you know, right now I'm waiting for the Sex and the City, the next that they're shooting.
It's a movie, right? Or is a TV series coming?
No, earlier, I mean, yeah, the movie, I don't know if it's a series. I think it will be a movie. Like looking at the characters right now, they have kind of aged. I'm quite shocked. Like, even though they look like so glamorous and good looking, like Sarah Jessica Parker is like my fave. And just looking at her, but few pictures now that, you know, you see and you're like, oh my God, but still the character is still there, you know, the way she's dressing up and then walking on the streets of New York. They're shooting all of that. I've just been getting a sneak peek, but I'm waiting for the next, The Bold Type is what I've been watching. And I'm just waiting for the next season, like on Netflix. It's not out yet.
Oh, nice. I don't have anything right now. I'm not waiting for anything, which I'm very happy about. But as I said, now I'm on the Star Wars journey. So I think have 3 or 4 to watch. And I'm only doing this on the rainy days or really like late evenings when I would probably normally just, I don't know, scratch my head and write something in my notebook. So I just choose to, you know, watch the movie. I mean, I'm probably like also looking at it as some kind of education, because I feel like my life is not complete if I don't finish Star Wars.
I know that feeling. Because I do the same with a lot of series, you know. I don't complete. I'm like, oh my God, I have to. But I go on a binge. I say that's so wrong, because then now I've stopped myself from watching series, because then the whole day, unless it's a weekend, you keep yourself for a weekend and you say, you know what, I'll keep this for a weekend and I'm going to binge, but it doesn't happen. So I'm like, might as well just watch a movie for an hour or two and then, like, you know, it's over.
Yeah, it totally makes sense. Well, once I finish my this, I think I'm gonna make a break to have normal summer. The rest of August, I will be like, no movies, no series. I just want to enjoy until it's warm and the lovely outside, you know, not to regret later. And by the way,
you're on a holiday.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. By the way, just remembering our last conversation that we had, you know, we discussed a lot about arranged marriages. If you remember, like we were kind of talking from experience and general like thinkings. But one of my friends actually brought this this kind of doubt or confusion, saying like, hey, you know, maybe it's very clear in India, like what is arranged marriage, but here, like I kind of have, okay, in my thought, like how does it look like? You tie two people together and push them to marry, but what exactly is that? And I was thinking maybe we can just do a small comeback on that and kind of cover a few more points that maybe we didn't have time to cover last time. I only know, and correct me because of course you will know much more on this one, but I know that probably this arranged marriage thing is in general is coming from probably very long time ago, and I guess it was even popular everywhere else in the world. That's how upper class families were, you know, keeping their assets together and keeping the status of the family. So they basically, you know, choose let's see, when a rich family has a daughter and they see another rich family has a son, so let's make them together and keep our assets and status together. And later probably it went further to all the you know statuses of people and all the castes, or maybe there is, right?
Yes, you're right. You're actually correct. I mean, you know, I never thought on those levels, but the things you said about the status of the you know, like probably a rich person and another rich person, and then they were like, okay, let's get our kids married. So
Yeah.
we all have a community, you know, probably that's what they thought back in the days.
Mm.
But I mean, see, I can tell you with an experience from my, let's say, my grandmother, you know,
Mhm.
it's a very interesting one. So basically, we all belong to Nepal, right? We're not from India,
Yes.
but my grandmother was back in the mountains in some part of Nepal, and she got married to a man again from Nepal. And you will not believe, apparently, when she got married, because she used to come from a very wealthy family. And when she got married, she was at those back in the days, you know, they would not give money as such, but just to take care of, like, basically my grandmom's mother
Mhm.
sent like help, like a house help back in the days, along with like cow and everything, you know, so that she
Oh,
gets to
wow.
have milk,
Yeah.
you know, gets to have like basically everything that her daughter would be comfy in, living in the, you know, another man's house, basically.
Yes.
That's how she was sent, and she was really taken care of. And eventually, apparently, my grandfather, now it was an arranged setup. She got married when she was, I don't know, like 10, 11 years old.
Oof. Oh my God.
Yes,
That's a
yes.
child marriage almost.
Yeah, it's like child marriage, of course. Oh, and then what happens is that, I mean, don't like really quote me on this. I'm just talking with my experience. I
Yeah.
mean, when you go back in the days, of course, if you read everything about Hinduism and Hindu culture and everything, it's different. You know, there's a lot of depth in that. But I'm just
Mhm.
talking with what I know from my family.
Sure.
Then she got like they get booked, like how basically you book the girl that I'm going to get married to her when she reaches a certain age. So even if she is 7 or 8 years old, you can kind of do some ritual, book her, and say that, you know, I'm going to get married to your daughter. And when she reaches, let's say 10, 12 or something, I think that's what happened to my grandmom, if I've not forgotten, if I
Mhm.
remember it correctly. And then they get the, you know, the guy to come at a certain age when she's eligible to get married according to them, their culture, and then they get married. And so basically you book a child since you're like, I
This is
don't know.
so basically, like, let's say, I mean, I don't know, I am the father or the mother of the son who is also small, and I'm already started to look out for the girl that he's gonna marry, even if, like, okay, it sounds like that family is okay, they have a daughter, she's now 6. I'm gonna go to that family and say, hey guys, I think we are good arrangement. Once your daughter reaches 12 or 14, let's get them married, with no, you know, other like thoughts involved, right?
Yeah.
Like more like
Yes.
family deal, let's
Yeah,
say.
family deal, and it's like some sort of a ritual happens, as far as I know, and then
Mhm.
they get married. So it is a very arranged setup. Now, when we come back, we come back to my parents. Let's say that I'm talking about my grandmom's time.
Yeah.
Now we come back to my parents. My parents, what happened was my grandmom told my father that, listen, I've been looking for a girl for you, and we need to go to. At that time, they had already moved to India, right? Because of businesses, blah blah blah. My parents came, my father with his mother and his father, they came to
Mhm.
India. And then they said, my grandmom said, listen, we need to go to Assam, which is the northeast of India. Again, Assam has a lot of Nepalese people who've been living there for years now.
Mhm.
And then they just said, we need to go. And he said, well, I want to work right now. I do not want to get into any relationship. I want to work. He was young. And I think he was just, what, 21? My mom got married when she was just 16 or something. I have no idea,
Wow.
at a very young age. And then he said, no, but then he said, but then my father said, oh, yes, this is interesting. My father told his mother that whichever girl you see, I'm sure will be good. So I leave it up to you. So my grandmom went to my mother's house, and then she saw, because my grandmom had my father's side, my father had two like brothers, and my mother's side, they are eight daughters
Oh,
and one.
wow.
Yes. So what happened? My father's mother, my grandmom went to my mother's side and saw that, okay, well, she is good. Okay. She's good for my father. And then another sister was there who was good for my father's brother.
Oh, wow. So it's like two sisters married to brothers.
They got married together, same day, same priest. The ritual, it was a big ass wedding back in the days. And two sisters and two brothers got married. It was an arrangement made by, you know, the parents. Like they had nothing to say, they only
Interesting.
saw pictures.
Yeah.
But again, see now, two got married that way. Whereas the third, my uncle, my father's youngest brother, saw my mom's other sister because she has 8 of them. So one of the younger one who was not married, he saw and he eloped. So there was no arrangement. They fell in love and they got married.
So wait a bit. So you have 3 sisters married to 3 brothers.
Yes.
That's amazing. That's quite a story.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, it was an arrangement, but another one, the third one, just had a love marriage that we all do, now.
Yeah. Oh, but this is like super interesting. So like, I mean, I can imagine that it's even like nicer because when you kind of, you connect these families, like it's also, they are all super close because it's coming from the brothers and the sisters. So it's like, you feel even closer, like not going so much maybe into, how to say, not alien family, but like not a very different family. So for example, if they live together somewhere close, so it's more like, there is your sister just nearby. And, if you go to meet her husband, it's like you meeting also your sister. So it's like, it's quite nice. It's lovely. But
actually, if I tell you, I said before I cut you here, it's not very good because it's not just my family, even with, the people I know.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't turn out to be very productive in terms of family healthy relationship. When you have, it's not worked out well, I feel, for us.
Okay.
And it's not just me. I've asked a lot of people who had this sort of an arrangement, and they said, I feel it's better when it's separate because.
You mean it's not very good that so many same family members are involved with another family members?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, okay. Same family because there's so many clashes that happens, and everyone's not on the same level, right? Everyone's on different levels. So when you're on the lower level or you're on the higher level, the other people have a problem, and instead, if it was not that, you as a brother or you as a sister would have had better relationship than because I've seen like somebody who was not involved in that sort of a setup, my other mother's sister, they would have a better relationship because there's nothing to, they just meet once in a while and they have the thing, but the whole thing, it's like having in India, you're aware of the joint family and a nuclear family. When you're in a joint family, so many problems crop in,
Okay.
So like that, I think.
Maybe I said that because, like it kind of reminded me of my cousins. So my 2 cousins, they're sisters, they're from 5 children. So one cousin married a guy, and then another sister of hers also fell in love with his brother, and so they are like 2 sisters married to 2 brothers. And when you were telling the story, I was like, and they're super like close, and like I think it's because of course different family setup, different expectations. They don't like live too close to each other, so you see only special occasions. It's like probably it's different, but yeah, maybe I straight put experience of that case to yours, but I can imagine that it could be here and there some differences, of course. But but moving to nowadays, I kind of and I'm only saying this from whatever all my friends experience that I know right now, when let's say parents choose, okay, now the son is old enough or the daughter is old enough, I know that they usually work on some sort of CV or resume where like basically you put like the weight, the height, the religion, the income, the education, some photos. I remember even one of my classmates used to, she went once to this photo shoot to add photos to this kind of matrimonial site, and I found it like, what? So I know that they prepare this kind of resume or CV and either share with some kind of families or probably matrimonial sites or agencies too, then find somebody who could be matching and start the meeting, right? Or is there any other way that this usually goes for arranged marriage?
See, right now, because we're all tech savvy and we've been going and, uploading our resumes or CVs, we as in the people who want to get married, uploading on the websites like shadi.com, the most
Shadi, the famous Shadi. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, do you remember?
Yeah, of course.
So apparently there is, but we're talking much before this whole technology thing came up. What would happen is usually from the family, you would have some cousin or you'll have a family friend who is aware of a single girl in this family and aware of a single boy in some family who you think would meet the same caste, tribe, religion. Because when you arrange marriage like this, everything comes in picture. Here, it's not like you have to be from the same caste, religion. That's why people go for an arranged marriage. If they're okay to marry anybody from anywhere, then they would not go for this, right? So that's how people do. So you usually have somebody, but there are agents as well. There is a certain community of people in India. They're very particular as to what your income would be like, and they would only look at a certain, and especially if you're a boy, you're on the demanding side, right? Like you can say you have an upper hand in certain society, community of people I'm talking about in India. They have that. You have an agent, you have somebody known in the family, or of course these days we have multiple websites and apps that, you know, people actually prepare their resume. And you very rightly said that your friend went and did her, you know, photo shoot. Because people wouldn't want to, the first picture that goes out, they don't want to look what they look otherwise. It's so stupid, I feel.
Because eventually you'll meet them live, you know, so.
Exactly. That is very stupid. Like, I mean, who are you trying to fool, you know? I mean, in the end, they're going to see you like this. I mean, I don't believe in that for sure.
Okay. And
even arranged marriage, I do not believe in this whole weird things that you do, because in the end, the reality is going to be out the day you meet them, you know? Sure.
I wanted to say, Sapi, that I have a future groom for you, but let's talk about this later. I wanted to ask you for your photos for this reason.
I will send mine, and please get me somebody from Spain, Lithuania. I've always told you, so you know it.
I thought you like hot Spanish guys more than Lithuanian. You'll have to give me your preferences, the ticks, what to look for.
That would be no, I'm not very choosy. I think I'm quite easy.
You are very choosy. Let's be frank here. So whoever boy is watching this, don't take her words. She's quite choosy. You need to be very special to match Savi's criteria.
Very true. From now on, Aiste have to be very choosy.
Okay, let's arrange something for you.
Yes, please. I'm waiting.
Okay. Next podcast we will be reviewing Sapi's criteria for the future groom.
Oh my God, I don't think so. If I do that, you know what will happen? For the ones who are watching me, will try to become that person. But I want to see the person. Sorry?
That's amazing if somebody will try to become that person. They just, you know, want to be surrounded with you, that they will be whoever you want them to be.
But they would be only for that time. But I want the whole life, that person should be like that. And they want
an actor. You need an actor.
Actor. Oh my God. No. I'm done. That's what I would say to you. I'm done.
Okay. I actually was also thinking that after last time we spoke, and I had few experience shared by my Indian friends, because I think this arranged marriage topic is kind of let's say it's not like, you know, one-sided, like, okay, so there are multiple opinions on good or bad things, but I think more like good things shared by some of my friends. One was only like a bit of saddish story, but the good part was usually shared. I don't want to mention the names, but for example, one of my friends was saying, you know what, when he reached like 25, I think 25, 26, so of course his parents started looking for a girl for him. He met quite a few girls until he met one girl whom he liked, and they were meeting for like 5, 6, 7 times until like he felt like, okay, they're matching well and he really likes her, apart from the part that they match also the family, the caste, the religion, the astrology charts and stuff like that. And now he's, I think, two and a half years married, and he said like he's very happy. And also he was kind of emphasizing that, yes, of course, you know, parents were helping a lot, and he trusts in their choice and he trusts in whatever they find. But in the end, it was up to him to say, okay, yes, this is the person, or no, this is not the person, let's keep on looking further. So he kind of felt like he still has a freedom, to choose from all the options that he has. I don't know if I like this kind of saying there are loads of options and I'm just kind of choosing, but it works for him and he was happy, and he told me the wife is happy. I have nothing to add here. But the saddest story was by another friend of mine from university. So she lives now abroad. So it was not her story, but she was just sharing her cousins, I think her cousins or her second cousin, I don't remember the ties, from some small city in Punjab, I think. That the girl, so her cousin was probably 17 when her parents already were looking for the groom. And because it was very strictly parents' decision. So basically parents already find out that everything is matching. And I think, as you mentioned, like how it was for your, grandmom, maybe a bit, that the parents shows everything is matching. And actually she met only, once before wedding the guy. And it was like a bit, I think like 10 or 12 years difference. And it was, that's it. Like nobody asked like her, like really consent. Hey, do you want or do you not want? It was like,
Sorry,
okay.
I lost you.
Sorry? Do you hear me?
I lost you in between. I think there is is there a network issue there from your end?
I don't know. Nothing looks like there is.
Yeah, I can hear you. You're getting stuck. Yeah, you're getting stuck and then coming back again.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, yeah, just maybe wave me next time if that happens, because it didn't look like here is a network issue, but maybe I will, hopefully not. Hopefully I will not need to reconnect or stop recording.
No,
but
no,
I don't know.
Conversation going on. So yeah.
I don't know if I finished, if you heard all that story of the cousin or.
Yeah, I did. I just got stuck in between. I know that she got like at 17, right? Something.
Yeah, so she was 70. I think she got married when 18, but already when she was 70, she knew that, okay, it's going to be next year. She's going to get married. She will not go to, to study further. So for me, it was a bit like a little bit sad story, let's say, because it was really not her choice. It was also the choice that actually, I think, stops her from having bigger ambitions in life, because basically she's married off at 18. So I understood that the family doesn't want her to move further with her education. So basically she's going to become like, how to say, helping in the household and like kind of, just basically becoming somebody part of the family, but not like really going for her personal goals.
Yeah.
And I know that sometimes in India, that's kind of, how to say, understood as an okay way forward. But I don't know, I just felt a little bit sad thinking from the women empowerment movement that this girl is not much of a choice that she can make here.
Yes. I mean, what you said is, see, you've given literally a comparison between two families, like two different families, but from India, right?
Yeah.
So I know, that's what I'm telling you. With India, everybody has changed. Like even if you're from the village, things have changed. I think it very much depends on families to families how they treat this whole wedding setup. Be like, some people are even okay, from what I know, for a few of my friends, their families are okay that if a boy and girl, they're not yet married, but they're still like together and they have a kid. I know some of them that their families are okay, which is pretty much how in the West we see, right? But in India, it's very rare, but we do see that. And secondly, we see again, like your other friend, where, he had a choice, like me, like I have my choice. They would show me, but if I don't like, come on, it's up to you. So that's one. Now, the third one that you are talking about, which is the actual Indian thing that, people talk about, right? Like when you say this is what arranged marriage is. I think it does happen, Aiste. I would not lie to you. It's still happening, even in bigger cities like Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore. It's still happening. And what they look at is that, oh, my mother is getting old, my father is getting old. I think I would need a wife who can come home and take care of them, because I will be busy at work. I won't have the time. Or even if they have a house help and everything to do the cooking, I know few of my friends, you will not believe, like very well-to-do family and everything, traditional. The person had to reach the house as soon as the in-law, like the father-in-law, comes back with the husband, with her husband. So basically, the son and father, after they finish work, they come. She doesn't have to prepare anything. They have house help and everything, but she has to serve. Like she has to be there to kind of serve them,
You mean
like
serve
even if it's
food or what?
yeah, serve food, tea, but okay, I'm here. Like she'd be chilling with me and she's like, listen, I have to go back home because my father-in-law is coming and I need to be there by 5:30.
Oh my God.
So it was like that. And I really don't know how this would work. See, I have two younger brothers. I myself, I'm not yet married. And, in my family as such, we've been pretty much living our own lives. So we really don't know how things will turn out later in future. We have no idea, Aiste, but right now we're just like, it's like single life. We all are chilling.
Yeah, until Sappy is like, hey, 5:30, we'll see you.
Imagine me doing that, Aiste, running at 5:30. Hello, I have to go and.
I mean, I can't imagine, but for how long? I mean, it can be okay, bearable for some time, but eventually, like, I don't know. I feel especially if I don't want to say anything bad about it, but I think now Indian women, like, they're getting stronger and educated, and they have their own personal goals and ambitions and dreams. It gets hard to feel like, okay, you did all this for actually going to in-laws house and sitting there and waiting for them to come back to serve something. It's like a little bit, for me, of course, like I'm not coming from that culture, so it's I think it's bad and it's not fair to judge, but it's like internally I feel like it's not exactly the way maybe it should be.
I know. And also, like, if you see even the culture, the smallest example of my mother, like, if she's frustrated, like, you're just sitting at home right now with lockdown, she used to travel so often with my father, would come to Mumbai for every little thing. They would come here, do everything, and then go back, It was a little break. And now you can't even take breaks. So I understand she's just at home doing her thing. She's a house, like, she's just in the house, right? Taking care of the house. And then she has like little friends circle, very small. She doesn't like to hang out too much here or there. She's usually hanging out only with us, the kids. And the other day she was telling me, so people like her, imagine, who've got married back in the days where she didn't even see my father, she herself has changed so much that she'll be like, if somebody like brings this negative energy into my life, I'm like, listen, dude, I don't have time for that. I'm going for my coffee. Like, I'm going to go grab my coffee.
No patience.
No, she doesn't. She does that. Even if she has a little problem with my father, she's like, listen, I can't deal with it. I'm going for a coffee, and you want to come, you come. Otherwise, I'm going. So she's felt like, she would tell me, like, I feel like just taking a flight and coming to Bombay for some time to just, like, relax and chill. So people like them have changed. So imagine people from our generation. Of course, they have changed, the women of our generation right now, they have changed. It's I don't know when things will come back to that same level, but it's still here. It's still here, but it's growing.
I think it's going to take some generations, and also some of these changes you will need to reach the smaller places, because I think in some smaller places which still were not touched so much by maybe, I don't know, let's say modern world and digital things and new waves of thinking, the things are still happening that were happening 50 years ago, maybe a bit more. That's more usual there. But I'm almost, as you say, I also can see that the changes and different things happening. So I can almost feel that you're gonna marry somebody you love, Safi.
Let's see when that would happen. I myself am crossed.
Yeah.
But I'm happy. I just feel that right now it's like, at this, like, I'm getting to spend so much of my time by myself to explore myself, know how I feel with a certain person.
I think I lost you a little bit, Sabi.
But it teaches you something, and I just feel that it's just a lesson. And I'm glad I'm living this life, and the rest of my life I'll probably live that sort of a life that I have to live as a married woman,
Yeah.
So you know me, I like to just enjoy every part of me, like every phase of my life. It's like, I just love it. So I live my life to the fullest.
Wow, that's a good tagline. I'm gonna make you a t-shirt like that. This line for your collection.
Yes, yes, the next collection I say, I think I should put that because that's me. Literally, that's me.
Yes, exactly. No, that sounds awesome. I'm just thinking now if we, because also I think it's a good way to wrap up the arranged marriage topic. I think it's a very nice summary of, well, the new young modern woman statement on how she's looking to life. I'm sure, I'm just wondering whether we still have time a little bit to cover, these pre-wedding and wedding rituals, which I've heard is quite interesting for some of the people, because everybody knows that Indian wedding is, well, Hindu wedding is very special, and still have a lot of little things that are, let's say, not found anywhere else. Do you still have some time to chat up, or
We can do it because I think it's just the whole, it will break the whole flow otherwise, because if somebody would like to hear, like you said, a lot of your friends didn't even know what is this whole arranged marriage thing. We've never heard about it. How does it happen? So I think it'll be quite interesting for them to understand how the whole preparation happens, pre and post.
I'm just kind of losing you a little bit because of some internet instability. I don't know if you're able to reconnect again.
Yeah, you've got stuck again. I don't know if it's my network or your network.
You got stuck as well. That's why I was talking to myself, and I'm not sure on whose side it is, to be honest.
Okay, so you want me to just talk about the pre, like what exactly happens?
I was just thinking, like, yeah, maybe just to give a bit of an intro. By the way, Katrina, you were asking about this especially, so listen carefully because we will be talking about this subject. Katrina is one of my friends who was asking about this. So I think we can maybe start a little bit. And by the way, whatever I will be adding to Sapi's part is only because when I was living in India, me and my buddy, Shrishti, we were quite a bit involved with wedding planning, and let's say we also, with my college mates, we were working in this huge wedding in Udaipur with, I think, 1,000 people. It was a very well-known family getting married. So I kind of observed the traditions a little bit here and there, and therefore, like, I'm maybe able to add some dots here. But maybe, Sapi, you can start, because I know that for the pre-wedding, you have, let's say, all this Handi and Haldi ceremonies, which are quite interesting to watch.
Okay. So you were talking about pre-wedding as in the whole function. Basically, in Indian culture, we have 4-5. You're talking about
Yeah,
that.
exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Before that, what I can also tell, since Katrina, right, your friend wanted that
Sure.
information, I can probably like just put it across. So before getting married, especially here, I'm talking about Hindu culture, or Sikh. I think Hindu, for that matter, Hindu and Sikhs are the ones that look into like a very grander sort of wedding, right? That 4-5 days of preparation. So before a wedding, I say this always, because astrology and blah blah blah, all that happens. There are a lot of tradition even before marriage. There are things from the boy side and the girl sides you exchange. It may be in terms of clothes, it may be in terms of dry fruits, sweets. There's a whole lot of, like, basically it's about how much of respect you're giving to your, like, each side of the family. So you send like a big basket of, let's say, dry fruits and sweets and some gold, or depending on whatever.
Either dry fruits or a little bit of gold. Which one you would choose?
Yes, you get gold, it's and it happens even after the wedding. You need to, like, gift, basically as a gift. It may be a small earring, it may be like a little, like, chain, a bracelet, ring, whatever. So that way. Now coming back, yeah, you wanted to say anything?
I just wanted to say that what I remember very, very strongly, and I think it's also very much, I felt that one of the big differences, or not necessarily differences, but something that I've noticed in the weddings, is that the wedding is not just between, let's say, bride and groom. It's actually very much between the families. So there are so many little things where, like, you involve sisters and brothers and parent and mom and dad. And, like, for me, it was like quite fascinating how many little things are there to think about almost each and every single member of the family. So I think this was
Yes.
also, as you emphasized, with a lot of like little gifts and special acts.
There are a lot of gifts, and also about blessings. When you bless somebody, like you have, especially for Hindu wedding, mothers. So basically, my mom's brother would be the most important person, even before my father. Because there's a thing in Hindu wedding, when you're giving your girl like to another family, right? Like it's like you're gifting your child that you were taking care of to another family, and that is only done by, usually by mother's brother. We call mama in our language.
Yes.
So you have to do that, and like either brothers. Now, if you don't have, for example, I don't have my mom's brother, and if I get married, along with my brothers would be like, a cousin. It can be a cousin, mom's cousin, brother as well. So this whole thing happens. But coming back to your, the pre-wedding, 4 or 5 days, I'll tell you frankly, honestly speaking, right now, what's happening is this whole Bollywood movie has just made everybody like dream of a Bollywood wedding that everybody wants. They are spending a lot of money. And how I'm telling you this is just a week ago, like I'm literally preparing for one of my very close family friend of ours, and they are from back home where I belong, but they are having this wedding in Jaipur, with like families, even the guys from there, even the boys from there. But yet they're having, and they are wearing like, they want to get the best of the makeup artist from Bollywood. They want to get best of the designer from Bollywood. Of course, if they're doing it at Jaipur, the wedding is going to be very grand. You yourself, you've seen Udaipur weddings. So they are spending a lot of money. So you have like mehendi ceremony, you have haldi. All these back in the days would happen in just, I can see
Just
somebody.
moving, I know, because the door is visible. Sorry, forget. Continue, please.
Yeah. So, you could have all of this in your home without people around. You could just do a mehendi, and you could put like this turmeric thing that you have. It's a ritual, it's basically like cleansing your body, and that's what they say. And all of the person will have to wear. Now, when you put henna on your hand, a married girl cannot walk around, like she cannot travel. There's a lot of like, a lot of from the Hindu, culture, and I don't know, it's just written somewhere, and people, have to follow that. That's what they do. But it's just that it can happen in a day. But now, because we want to party, it's basically we want to party. It's our big day. Let's just, kill it. So I'm talking about right now what people have is Sangeet, Mehendi is one function. Sangeet is another. Sangeet is more like a full dance. You know how like the family, let's say I'm getting married, you're going to perform at my wedding, Aiste, so get ready.
I am in, can't
So, like your friends will get, they'll prepare. It's a proper stage, where people you get a choreographer,
Exactly. I was shocked. I remember when I was attending my friend's wedding, actually they have choreographer already months before. They practice bloody 10 dances and show through the evening with lights and costumes and like whatever decorations. I was like, oh my God, this is a theater performance rather than a wedding. It's like so much money also going into this.
A lot of money, decorations again, like if you're looking at, because India right now, weddings are becoming so like competitive. Everybody wants to be different. And now destination wedding, again, it's something the Indians like, right now, if they want to spend money, see, we are talking about Indians overall, right? We're talking about the upper class that we all look at. But of course, there are others also, they will not have this grandeur, but yet, they will be doing that. So then Mehendi, Sangeet, then they have cocktail, where it's just like your friends coming in, no like parents allowed, no older people, then they call only their like girlfriends and boyfriends, and it's more like a youngsters party. And then the real marriage happens, and then you just have dinner, and after that again the boys side will they will give another reception, like another party to their family, friends, and everybody once the girl comes to their house. So let's say you get married to a guy in Delhi, and everything has happened in back home. If it's not a destination wedding, if everything has happened back home, now I go to my guys, the boys' place now with the family in New Delhi. Then they will have another reception for people around who couldn't probably, everybody can't come back home, right, where I live. So they have another reception there. So there's a lot of money. And the amount of jewelry you need to give to your cousins, to your relatives, the amount of clothes. It's like, it's a lot of investment. Lot of investment.
And Sapi, there are just either confirm or say it's false. There are two myths, or at least two things that I've noticed in the weddings of the weddings that I attended in India, that had two things that I would never see in weddings that I attended all around Europe. So first one, I've never seen the bride or the groom kissing each other on the wedding. There is no kiss.
There's no kiss. Yeah, there's no kiss. But again, I will correct you right here, because they would not, but they're still doing. A lot of my friends have done it. So it really depends from family to family. Like, we cannot expect, let's say my house help or my driver's family, they have a wedding and they would do that, it'd be like, oh my God, they always shut their eyes, they guess, right? What is going on? There's no respect. For them, it's about respect. The older people are there. You can't do that in front of them, according to everybody. It's just about respect. Otherwise, you do whatever you want. But in front of the whole public, like, you have your friends, families, elderly people, so they don't want that to happen. But from what I've seen from my friends, they do it these days, like.
Okay. Yeah, because in the weddings I attended, there were no kissing, so that was one. And also there was no alcohol. Like, in none of the weddings I've been, officially in the parties there was no alcohol. Unofficially, when you, let's say, go to, I don't know, small gathering, or in the groom's friends room, there is, let's say, a whiskey or whatever, but in general in the party nobody serves alcohol. Is it normal, or is more like probably?
Oh, this is very abnormal, but I would not say abnormal also, because since you told me this, I even know which community of, like, who got married there. I know which, like, what's their surname. Like, I would be able to tell you, because for them, they are not very open with alcohol. A lot of them. I know the community of people, you're talking about, who didn't have alcohol in the wedding, and they would do in their rooms, even if they get married in a 5-star, but they would not. So it's very, with this community, yeah, they are very like careful, because apparently they're not even allowed to eat non-vegetarian like meals, right? I think it was veg, if I am not wrong, wherever you went for the wedding. So
I
were
think
veg,
veg.
yes, so they would not even have alcohol, but they would do it inside. But otherwise, all the weddings I've gone to, it's like, oh my God, that's the best part about Indian wedding, because you're drunk. Like, if it's a bride and
very hard statement.
I'm telling you, it's like everyone's drunk, everyone's wasted. Like, all my friends' wedding that I've been to, we don't even like, we've missed even the main ritual, the whole family scene that happens. And then our friends are like, what the hell, you were meant to be here. Like, hello, we slept at 7 in the morning. You expect her to wake up at like 9 or 10. It's not happening.
Yes.
We're only here to party.
Okay. One more thing that I remember, and again, correct me if it was just a typical ceremony or something more unusual. I remember seeing, I think it was bride's parents washing the feet of bride and groom with water and milk, something like that. Is a typical part of the ceremony?
Yes, it is. And like I told you, that whole ceremony where we tell that the mother's brother, like my mother's brother, would be the main person in the family. Yes. So this particular event is more like, it's called Kanya Dan. So basically, Kanya in Hindi means girl, and Dan means what do you say? I'm not very good with Hindi. I'm trying to explain you, but nice. I myself, like gifting, like you're gifting your girl. So that's the most emotional part, because everyone's crying.
Yes, I remember that.
It's the most emotional part. And also because it's like, my daughter is gone now, like you have no right to tell her to do this or come here, you have to sit with me, come here, come, you can't do anything because you have no right. It's now you belong to the boy's family, like that. So that's quite important tradition, and I think every Hindu like wedding will have that. For sure. Hindu wedding will have
And I think the most typical thing that people, when they see in, wedding, I don't know, representative photos or the videos, is the walking around the fire, like when the groom and the bride walks around the fire, I think 4 times, if I'm not mistaken, and saying some mantras with the priest, right?
Yes. So basically, in church, how we do, like you are with the priest and you say that, it's a what oath? What do you call it? Oath?
Vows, I think. Vows?
Oh, sorry, vows, correct. So it's the 7 vows that you take with the fire. With us Hindus also, it's the same thing that you do. And you take that whole fire thing happens, and 7 vows you take, and it's pretty much the same thing, but it's a longer process. And for Christians, it's just like, this, that, and then they kiss each other.
Yeah, it's fasting. That's it. And one more difference that I've noticed, because at least when you were in India, and if you can spot the recently married woman from wherever you are, because she has this red powder, and usually she has also the bangles, right?
I like that. Red powder. Oh, yes.
Correct me how all the names are called.
Yes,
I just recall everything.
Technically, it's a red powder. Yes, and what did you say?
And the bangles, the bangles on the hands.
Yes, again, when we talk about this, see, in Hindus also, we have, India is a vast country, religion and this, that. Now, when it comes to us, like, let's say I'm talking about Nepalese, but we are Hindus, right? For us, of course, the red powder is very important, and it's called sindoor. You know that? Sindoor, they call it.
Maybe I knew, I forgot. So sorry, I'm calling just what I see literally.
The red powder, yes, they wear that. But, again, things have changed. Back in the days, like they would have to wear, some people, even in India, I'm talking about like villages, and some, they wear it from here,
from the nose. Oh my God. But every day they refresh it, right? So every day, if I'm a freshly married lady, I wash my face in the evening, but in the morning when I wake up, I put again the new one, right?
And I'm talking about village, literally, like, the village, different from the villages, but from a very different sort of a community again. Otherwise, normally there are another sort of people who would wear like this really thick ones, but the modern ones, which I would say right now, my mom wise, like she would just like take a little thing and just put it like very little here, like you can delicate, it's just there.
But how long? So after the wedding, how long you keep on putting that red stuff?
Entire life. Now you've said that I'm married, so you wear red color, right? The day you don't wear it, it's like you don't have your husband with you. That's the whole
wow thing. Like, I thought it's only worn by the freshly married ladies.
No, these days, of course, people don't wear it. Like a lot of my friends don't, unless it's an occasion or there's a festival. That's when they wear sari and they wear it. But otherwise, that's what they say. But that's not the only thing. Red powder, because you've seen it. Bangles, again, it depends on, like, if they're Punjabis, from the North India, they wear those bangles, and like they're married, Then for us Nepalese and also a few other Indian community people, they wear this Mangal Sutra. It's a necklace that they wear. Yes. If you wear that necklace, people know that you're married, So it's like a trademark that you have, that you're married.
And what about guys? Like, what's the sign that you are married?
I know that is so bad. And Aiste, I will not lie to you, just day before yesterday, I saw somebody's post who had written that, what is this all nonsense? Like, girls have to prove themselves that you're married. You're putting like all of this and walking around. What about boys? There has to be something for them as well. The ring is taken off. They just take the ring off, right? And how do you know whether you're like actually married or not? You have no idea.
I would suggest maybe big earring.
Aiste, I want to take your suggestion and put it out in the media, I guess. This is what.
No, let me brainstorm better, because earring is also very removable. Maybe a face tattoo, which is much harder to powder or remove. Like married or married.
I think married. They should have a tattoo. Actually,
a little tattoo of the wife's face. I think it would be cute, and also a sign of that you're married.
I love your ideas, Aiste. I love it.
Okay, next time let's brainstorm on these ideas. But well, I'm sure some men want to have a sign, but officially, culturally, there is none. So let's invent one.
I know, but that's so weird, right? Like, I mean, when you think of it, we're talking about it today. I'm discussing it with you today, but just day before yesterday, somebody on social media had put this on the post saying that, what about the men? And it's a boy who has written this, you know, and I was like, that's quite interesting that, you
Yeah.
know, you thought of something like, which makes sense. Like, why
It
not?
yeah, it makes a lot of sense. But I think it's like, one more fight for women empowerment movement, because let's say it's not only, okay, India has a bit more this visual signs that you're married, but for example, here, like, okay, specifically Lithuania, we still have quite strong tradition to change your surname into your husband's surname once you get married. So basically, it's quite easy to identify a lady who is married because of her surname.
Sure.
And I guess it's again coming from the same, same old traditions where you just kind of, okay, the woman is the one who's following the man. It's not kind of equal sides deciding both together. So it's moving, it's changing, because now the woman either chooses not to change their surname, or they make the husband's surname in a way that it's quite difficult to understand whether she's actually married or it's just her surname, like kind of stuff. But I'm sure we still have quite a lot of like these leftovers of some of the older traditions, which are, maybe not that friendly to ladies, I would say.
But even the surnames, I mean, in India, of course, you have to. It's like you have no choice. But right now, people don't. A lot of my friends were married. They were like, it's okay. Like, we're married. I don't need to change my surname.
So when usually in India, when a woman is married, what does she do? Like, she has to take her husband's surname as a last surname, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. But now my friends haven't. A lot of them, and some have. Like, for me, if I get married, I don't know, like, for me, it doesn't matter. Like, I'm like, okay, change. Like, I mean, it doesn't matter to me. Others, if you don't change, you don't change. Like, it depends on my mood, I guess. I'll be a mood.
One day I like the name, next day I like my husband's name. I will just play around, juggle here and there.
If you have a nice surname, I will change. Otherwise, not happening.
Yeah, it makes sense, actually. So hunt for a husband first, ask him for surname, and later see if you like him. So you know what? I think we will have to move a bit to wrapping this one up, because I feel like the darkness is eating me, and I'm gonna soon become like a little tiny dot of light in this dark room. And maybe if we still haven't answered some of the questions, or there are any sermons that could be interesting to go deeper, well, let us know, either personally or in the comments or any other way, because we are happy to deep dive into this. Even maybe, we very shortly touch what is mehendi and haldi and stuff like that, which is maybe normal and known to both of us, but maybe to some of the people might not. So we are happy to do that more. And I think it was a nice long conversation instead of 30 minutes.
I'm telling you, so do not keep a timer. 30 minutes not going to work for us.
Shut up, can we? No, I hope it's enjoyable to not only two of us.
I'm sure people are enjoying it if they have asked you questions. Yeah, definitely means they are interested and they want to know. So, and if they want any more questions, I mean, they can always, drop in a comment below and just write to us. We can just listen, reply to them, and then send them video links if they want to know what is a haldi and what's a sangeet, because there are plenty of Bollywood movies out there.
Let's promote some Bollywood movies here. Okay. So Sagira, super cool to catch up with you. I'm gonna stop now, probably recording before, as I said, I'm gonna become very dark, light dot in a dark room. But let's catch up very soon. Okay?
Yes, we shall.
Okay.
See you. Bye-bye.
Yeah, ciao, ciao.